I will help you with that after we're done.
Okay.
Deb, we can't hardly see you. Do you have a light or something?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. I didn't know if you were just going to be like the Jesus voice for tonight.
It might be. Guys.
Hello, everyone. I'm Allison, and welcome to my weekly Meltdowns coverage of Survivor. I think it's still Island of the Idols.
Even though they were absent tonight.
Even though we didn't have any. This is episode 5. Welcome back, Tyler. How are you?
I'm good. Just super, super busy. But I only have a few more weeks of weddings, and then my season has calmed down. So I was just in New Orleans last week and just traveling all over the place right now. But good to be back with you two and talking Survivor.
And by the way, your wedding pictures are gorgeous.
Oh, they're so good. You. Go to scratchstudios.co.
Yes, .co. Very good. That's the only time I'll compliment you tonight.
I know.
She's fangirling a little bit.
Let's see in the chat. Let me get the comments up. We've got Marty W, Joseph Boza, and Moki, and HFG. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So I just wanted to say that Deb and I were texting during the show, and she came up with an analogy tonight. That is one of the funniest things I've ever heard. Karishma is the equivalent of the dead guy in Weekend at Bernie's, just keeps getting dragged around. Oh, wait, y'all, we've got a special guest. Let me see if I can pull him in. Hold on. We've got somebody.
Breaking news.
We have a special guest.
Hey, Carl, how are you?
It's Carl from Survivor, David versus Goliath. How are you?
I'm blessed, man. How are you guys?
We're doing great. Are you keeping up with the Island of the Idols this season?
Yeah, absolutely. I just finished watching, man. I just actually tweeted because Karishma is my girl. It's like she got 9 lives or something, man. She just keeps
really
the call.
Yeah.
Carl, the Godfather, thank you so much for being here. I was just talking about how Deb and I she came up with the idea that Krishna's kind of Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. Her limpless, lifeless body during that reward challenge. Oh my God. What is happening?
Just from being out there, those challenges are hard, man. They look easy sitting on your couch, but I'm telling you, those challenges are hard.
I wouldn't have been able to do it. They would have been dragging my ass, I promise you.
Same thing with Janet. Janet was just like, it was like pulling a dead body.
And that's kind of what me and my wife was saying. You know what makes it so bad is Jeff will call out the weak links, which puts that target on you.
Yeah.
But if you watched it from the very beginning, Janet was moving just as slow as Karishma. She was being pulled.
Yeah,
you know, he never called it out.
I really don't like how Jeff really interjected himself tonight, like a little more than usual. He was like, Karishma has been slow in this challenge. And I'm glad that she said back to him, she said, no, I haven't. And really, do you see the contestants really push back on that? Carl, did anybody in your season ever give Jeff a little lip when he was doing his thing?
I was one of the main characters that gave Jeff lip. I mean, I cursed Jeff out left and right.
Yeah.
But Alec hated when Jeff would sit there and commentate when we were in challenges. He really hated it.
Yeah. That I feel like that would drive me nuts too. Like I would not be happy if I was Karishma. So I don't blame her for losing her cool a little bit on him.
Yeah, it definitely gets in your head, man. You're trying to concentrate. You know, you're balancing on this beam. You hungry as hell. Yeah. And here this guy is saying, "Oh, Carl's wobbling this," and I'm like, "Man, leave me the hell alone.
Right.
Let me concentrate."
Right. He's probably like sitting in like a resort, like drinking a beer, like
someone's fanning him.
20 hours.
Right.
It's like, Jeff, we don't need the commentary. We're aware.
Exactly.
Right.
We know.
Yeah. We're going through it. We're feeling it.
Yeah.
We're doing it. But yeah, she does have 9 lives. I have to say, I mean, even with the merge, I thought for sure as soon as they merged that they were even all going, okay, it's Karishma. But then at the last minute, I thought it was going to be Dean. Like I really did. Too. And then they threw Tom in there. And I'm like, you know, because Dean just out the gate at the beginning of this episode is trying to like CSI the crap out of everyone on his tribe. You know, okay, who flipped, who came up with the Chelsea thing, what's going on. And it was
He was
Missy.
aggressive.
He was very aggressive. And of course it was Missy, and it was a master plan. Now, at this point, like anyone's going to admit it, Carl, would you have admitted it?
No, because again, that puts targets on you. So you have to play dumb in that aspect. I mean, the whole admitting your moves thing, that's kind of sort of overrated until you get to the end. Once you get past merge and get to final 5, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Then yeah, you want people to know that you initiated whatever. But this early in the game, no, because that lets people know that, oh, okay, this Joker is playing the game. They're manipulative and doing this and that. So no, you don't want to admit any of that stuff in the very beginning.
Yeah. So I'm glad Missy didn't say anything, and he was really trying. I mean, you got to give it to the guy. And I just want to say, I've never seen a group of people so excited to go to Applebee's in my entire life. They've obviously never been to an Applebee's in Memphis, Tennessee, because it's horrible here.
When Karishma was like, Applebee's is my favorite restaurant of all time. I love it. I was like, this is such product placement. Like, this is like as bad as like a Big Brother diary room or something.
It's like when Big Brother does Outback Steakhouse.
My wife texted her when she seen that and said, we're going to take you to Applebee's next weekend since that's your favorite restaurant.
And Karishma, she's hanging in there, and she's really not having to do any damage control at all. After
I would never write her name down.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do anything. She's just like, okay, whatever. I mean, and she's doing it right.
I would drag her to the end.
Is Karishma a lock for Final 3 at this point?
At this point, Karishma is that person that you bring with her to the Final 3. Yes. She's basically Angelina from my season, even though Angelina was really playing and trying to initiate some things, but Karishma has been labeled that goat this early on.
Yeah, so that's definitely what I want to talk about, because my grandmother, who watches Survivor, she texted me and she said voting out Tom was stupid. They should have voted Karishma out, the weakest link. And I want to talk about this with you guys because I think that they made the right move tonight by taking out Tom. What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
I mean, it really doesn't. I mean, it's like my goal is let's get to the merge and then she can go.
Yeah, that's the main goal.
But
that's your first goal. You got to make it to the merge. Once you make it to the merge, then all the gloves can come off. Especially in a season such as this. Like on my season, it was different because they kept the whole David versus Goliath thing the whole time. So it was kind of sort of we had to stay pat. But in a season like this, everybody is all over the place. You make it to that merge, and then you just go where you got to go.
Absolutely.
Beth in the chat, Beth is a guest on our show a lot. She says, where is it? Can we talk about how much the tribe is to blame for putting Karishma in the part of the challenge that she had to do a lot? This is what I told Deb. I said she should have been picked to do the puzzle. I know she sucked at the last puzzle that she did, but this was a smaller puzzle.
Yeah.
I mean, like an 8-year-old could do that puzzle.
And it's one that Survivor has done many times before. Like, it's not like a new concept for a puzzle by any means. So, I totally agree with that. And I want to say hi to everybody in the chat too. We have Thomas, we have Joseph, we have, is it Mochi or Mochi? Carlitos. We have so many people in the chat. So thank you guys all for commenting below and everything like that. So I have a question for you guys, though. So we're all kind of in agreement that it was the right move to take out Tom. And I think that we're all kind of aligned by saying, like, taking out Karishma would be very short term. But, we're all saying, like, bring her to the end. Like, she's like Final 3 guaranteed at this point. So I like that these players are really thinking long term this season and really thinking ahead to, like, the merge and how to set themselves up. But I kind of think that this is not the right move for Janet. She's the one that I think maybe should have thought about something different, because now that she's the only older person on that tribe, it could very easily sway against her for people to vote out like the other old person next week. What do you guys think about that?
That could be, because she's strong as far as in some competitions, she's slightly stronger and a little less goat-like. And if they're thinking long-term, keep the goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, being old doesn't necessarily help you if you're physical and you're playing along with everyone else. You know, a lot of people like to go after the older people, but that doesn't, mean that they're the weakest links.
Oh,
Because
absolutely. She's definitely impressed me so far.
right. I think in Janet's case, she got rid of Tom because her and Tom were kind of sort of similar in a sense. Because Janet is a straightforward person as well. And that's what she picked up off of Tom. Like, he was straightforward. He was going to cut to the chase. So it's like on that island, you don't need two people like you. You don't. It just doesn't work. That's how it was with me and Elizabeth. Me and Elizabeth was exactly the same.
Yeah.
So it's like, I got to get her or she's going to get me because we're exactly the same. And that's not going to work for my game.
Right.
But do you think Janet maybe put her foot in her mouth a little bit during tribal council, kind of calling out Dean, saying, well, you didn't talk to me. You talk to everyone else but me.
I think that's actually a smart move on her instance, because it's really setting up like to paint a bigger target on Dean in case they go to tribal council next time, right? Like they're it's almost like villainizing him a little bit, which is good for her to be doing.
Like he didn't even thinking. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carl.
No, because now all the guys are going to pay attention to see if Dean is only singing out, coming to talk to them, and leaving the women
Puts a
out.
lot of spotlight on him.
And then the other women are looking, okay, well, you know what? He does only go talk to the guys. Yeah. So we can't work with him.
Yeah.
So,
That's something she's. I see the point which Tyler's trying to make, but there are aspects of Janet's game, socially strong, not seen as a threat, strong in challenges and in camp life, that reminds me of Denise Stapley. I think that's a really good comparison. I think that we still need to see more from Janet. I feel like this is the most that we've seen of her is tonight, and she did, of course, make fire in the premiere. But I want to hold out a little bit more before I'm Team Janet, but I'm liking what I see so far.
Listen, I thought it was funny when they switched tribes tonight, and Elaine freaked out and said it made her itchy. I was just kind of like, "What do you mean it made you itchy?" That's a little
scary. It's scary.
I like Elaine and I like Janet and I like how the older ladies are kind of representing. And I found the wrestling match a little awkward. I didn't really understand what was going on with that.
That was weird.
That was I don't know, filler for a few minutes. But
Allison, do you think you could wrestle? Elaine?
Me?
No, Allison.
No.
Honey, I'm 4'11". I weigh 100 pounds. I can't wrestle my 23-pound Tabby and win. I mean, it's not. I can't wrestle I can't wrestle my sanity and win. It's not going to happen.
That's fair. So of course we did have that tribe swap. I really liked how it broke down, having 4 on each tribe. Like that really made for an interesting episode. And I totally forgot that Nora lost her vote tonight.
Oh yeah.
I did as well.
That's even more reason to pull in Karishma and target Tom.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Nora was just she had that fatal attraction laugh going. I was
oh my god, that was maniacal.
She is creepy.
She is good casting, is what she is.
Oh my god.
Sandra was like, I love her. I love Nora. And I'm like, well, if Sandra loves you, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have lost it being on the same island with her.
Crazy.
Exactly.
Well, apparently next week we get a lot more of her if you watch the preview for next week, but we'll see. She's shaking something out of her hair. I don't know. So, and Beth has another question, and it's for Carl. What would Carl have done with Nora on his tribe?
Yeah, I just spoke about it. I think I would have lost my mind, man, because she's a bit all over the place. But, I mean, playing the game, you try to just deal with that type of stuff. But I would have definitely used her, as one of my people that I would have targeted, just trying to bring to the light to the other people, how all over the place she is, how crazy she is. Like your sanity is one thing you need out there because you're already going crazy. You know what I mean? So when you got somebody that's sitting there doing all this extracurricular stuff, it's like, nah, I don't have no place for that.
Now, let me ask you a question, Carl. How much time do you actually have between the immunity challenge and tribal council? Like, do you have a full day to make this decision? Or
in the very beginning, you have a few days in the very beginning. You know what I mean? Like your first tribal was like every 3 days. So you'll have a day where you do nothing. You'll have a day where you do the challenge, and then the next day is when you do tribal. But that's only in the very beginning. As the days go by, it start clicking like every day. You'll go do an immunity challenge today and go to tribal tonight. You know what I mean? So you only have a few hours to get back to the beach and do your strategizing, and then it's locked down. You're headed off to tribal council. So it just depends on as the days get shorter and shorter, they start moving along a whole lot faster.
Now, I know that Karishma mentioned during the tribal that somebody whispered in her ear right before going to tribal. Was that something that happened a lot? Like, did the plan really change last minute? And just walk me through, was that a thing that people did on your season a lot?
Yeah, man. Some people think tribals are short, man. Some tribal councils last for hours.
Oh, I can imagine.
I mean? Oh, yeah, because it's like you're going through, somebody's going home, so you're going through everything. It's like they literally, not to, spoil it, but they literally have to change tapes.
Yeah.
Like literally, that's how much, man, they have so much footage that takes place out on those islands. Mm-hmm. It's like unbelievable. But
speaking of footage, you told me a story about you talking about your wife in your diary room sessions.
Yeah.
Can you tell them that story? I thought it was fun.
That was crazy, man. We was laying in the shelter one day, and we didn't have much going on, so we're all just talking. And I think I'm on the right story, Deb, if I can remember. So they were asking me, well, can you describe your wife for us? Like, describe her. What is she like? What does she look like? This, that, and the other, So I said, well, she's very beautiful. She's smart. I said, she has a big ass and some big boobs, And when I told them that, I mean, the cameramen just lost it. They just died laughing. And it was just so funny, man. Everybody started laughing. I was like the Joker in the
No, it was the one about her pet name.
Oh, her pet. Oh, okay, yeah. So, but before I get to that, I was the Joker at camp. Like, I was the one that was always cracking the jokes. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to try to laugh just to make the time go by. But anyways, what Deb's talking about, like when I would go do my confessionals, at the end of every confessional, I would always say, I love you, Gina, like constantly.
Yeah.
And so at one point, one of the producers goes, Carl, who is this damn Gina woman that you're trying to get us to put on TV? You're married. Like, your wife's name is Ann. Like, we can't put that out there. You know what I'm saying? And for the longest, they were just like, who the hell is Gina? But anyways, to make a long story short, Gina is my wife, which her name is Ann. That's just a name that I give her. That's just a pet name.
That's funny.
So, yeah, that's how that goes. But it was crazy, man. Producers would be like, "What the hell? Why is this dude talking to his side piece or something on national TV?" You know what I mean? Like, what the hell?
What? Now, I just want to say, not to brag or anything, but Karishma is was in my top 5. We did a preseason draft, and I'm like, how am I?
I'll bring up that draft right now.
Bring up the draft. I don't know how that. Yeah, there I am right there. And I lost Tom tonight, so I've lost most of everybody. Yeah, we'll
sorry,
see.
Tyler.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry.
Why?
I actually did a podcast the other week, and I called the Chelsea vote out with the idol in her pocket. I've gotten a little heat from that on Twitter behind that, but I actually called it. I said, "She's."
Hey, at least you were right. I could not believe that happened. I really thought that she had what it takes, especially because she's such a fan of the show. Like Jeff said, that she's been auditioning more than anybody that got cast this season.
And that's why I called it, because your real big super fans, they tend to overplay, and they play blind in a sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It happens to just about every big super fan. They've waited so long and they've studied this game so hard, and then they get out there and they just totally crap in the bed because they overplay.
Would you say that was kind of like Gabby in your season?
It was kind of like Gabby as well as Christian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Absolutely. Till this day, Christian doesn't even really do much Survivor anymore.
Yeah.
Which is sad because this dude was a real big super fan. You know what I mean? But,
I can absolutely see how like being a part of the show, and then like especially getting like heat on Twitter for like doing literally anything wrong. I'm sure that can really I saw on Twitter this week somebody was like fat shaming Jamal, and he retweeted it with a comment being like, say what you want about my game, but like this isn't funny and this is actually really hurtful. And it's such a shame because I bet that really turns people off from wanting to audition for the show, which is sad.
Yeah. And like Carl, we also cover Big Brother, and I am telling you, that is a brutal bunch on social media. I mean, they are, they're brutal. They're brutal.
I don't watch Big Brother, but I mean, I've met a bunch of them or whatever. Cool people, but Big Brother people are totally different than Survivor people.
Oh, it is
totally
completely. And I always joke about how, I've been trying to get on Big Brother for years, and we're always joking because I'm so not I go outside to go to my mailbox, to go to my car, to go to work, and then I'm immediately back in the house. But it's like, we're always joking about, I would be the person that they would put on Survivor. I'd vote myself out. I would have been Karishma tonight. They would have been dragging my ass all over the place. I can't even swim, Carl. I doggy paddle. If doggy paddling were an Olympic event, I'd have all the medals. I do it like nobody's business. But I don't know if sometimes they do kind of reach for people who aren't really athletes and and there's got to be a reason why. And
I mean, they do. They reach for all kinds of different people. For that purpose. You know what I mean?
To challenge you.
Right. For that purpose. But you may do good on it. You never know.
Another point I wanted to make about this episode tonight was, both Karishma and Dean immediately once the swap happens, they both go to Kelly to relay like a lot of information about tribe dynamics. And of course, we see Dean and Kelly have this mutual friend in common and stuff, and that's a really great bond. But I thought it was interesting that both of those people go to Kelly first, and I thought that was really telling about her place in the game and how she comes across to complete strangers, people that she hasn't had a conversation with before. She's very inviting, very welcoming, and I thought this was a really good sign for Kelly's game to come in the future.
Yeah. And she even said tonight about Dean that it scared her about how
likable he is.
How likable Dean is. And I really like Kelly. I liked her putting the idol in her hair. I've never seen that before, know. So
that was awesome there. But now I seen on Twitter somewhere that Sandra posted. Sandra's the one that actually tied the idol up in her hair for her.
Oh, really?
I heard that too.
Yes. I seen that
was it Sandra's idea?
I don't know if it was her idea, but she's the one that you know what I mean, that knotted it up for her, or whatever you ladies call it, however, put it in the bun or whatever.
I mean, regardless if it was Sandra or Kelly that thought of the idea, it was still Kelly that had to execute it and lie
brilliant.
And be like nervous as hell that would like fall out. So I still give Kelly a lot of credit for that move.
She put on a real show. I mean, she cried. She offered to take off everything. Like, she sold it big time. You know? So
we were joking on the show a couple of weeks ago. Me, Beth, and Deb. Tyler, I don't think you were on the show, but it was the episode where is he changing her phone? Hold on one second.
I'm sorry. I had to
okay. No, we were joking about how when they had the Idol of the Islands, they had, who was it, Deb, that they were teaching to like sniper crawl in the sand?
The
Vince.
The gate.
Vince. They had Vince like Sandra's holding up a bush, like just do whatever you've got to do to hide, and then you get Nora on there the next week, and Rob and Sandra like, she's not gonna do it.
Yes,
she's not just forget it. Don't even, we're not death crawling, we're not getting behind leaves. Just give her anything.
All over the place. Just give her something simple. And she jumped right on it. Like, what? Come on, man. Think about it.
You have been able to pull off that sneaking into another camp, do you think?
Would I have?
That seems like it would have been really.
Yeah, I think I would have, because I was pretty light on my feet. It was many a nights I got up and slithered around camp without anybody even hearing or noticing that I was gone. So yeah, I think I would have been able to pull that off. I always slept in the same spot in the shelter every night. Every single night I slept on the edge of the shelter. I never slept in the middle. And Gabby, what's crazy is Gabby slept right next to me every night in the shelter. And she's the one that ultimately turned her back on me. You know what I'm saying? Me and Gabby was real cool. But yeah, I would have been able to move around and get to the other camp.
I would have tripped over my own feet. I would have made a noise. I would have
given yourself enough credit.
I would have gotten the hic. When I get nervous, Carl, I get the hiccups. So
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I had the hiccups last week. And it was like God himself kept me from having the hiccups during the show. I would be like looking around,
I love this comment. This is a Big Brother reference. When Dean looks at Kelly, he can see home.
Oh my
That
God.
is so funny.
He's thinking about that ex-girlfriend.
I
Yeah.
know. I thought
Yeah.
that was crazy. And Aaron's got his kids on his socks.
Yeah. How cool was that?
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of neat. I'm like, man, I wonder if I did that, if I
It's
could put my
kind of-
son on a t-shirt.
That's kind of a target, though. That's something, no.
Yeah.
You're kind of displaying that you have a little kid at home.
It's displaying that you have a good jury speech at the end.
There
Or you
go.
could just say,
There you
look,
go.
I had to get socks that I didn't care if they got ruined. They were in the Walmart quarter bin. You know,
Yeah.
you don't
Exactly.
have
You
to.
don't have to say it's your son, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
This
You
is
can
what
just-
they picked for me. This is what wardrobe picked. I had no choice.
Right.
I
Yeah.
know
You
this
don't tell
kid.
them it's your kid.
Yeah. Who the hell
Little
is this
kid.
guy?
I
And
did
then
like
you
that
can make up a
segment.
story.
I thought it was really good to see Aaron in a more complex light than just being this like meathead guy. He has like a soft spot to him, and I liked that he was saying I need to align myself with Tommy. I need to get in with these people, and instead of just talking about strategy, I need to talk to them about my life and really
Mhm,
connect
yep.
with them on a personal level. And I don't know, guys. Tommy seems to be. Like Tommy and Kelly both seem to be the people that everybody just gravitates towards.
Yeah,
Towards
sure.
and,
Yeah.
Tommy just has like something really magical about him. Very charisma.
It's that teacher aspect from Tommy.
Mhm.
That's a good
Super,
point, Carl.
You know what I mean? He's easy to talk to.
Yeah.
So,
And even with the merged, oh, not the merged, the tribe swap
swap.
tonight, when Karishma was opening up about her marriage to Janet, and I can't remember that other guy's name. They don't show him a lot. Do you know who I'm talking about? The young guy?
Jack.
Jack.
I think, yeah, that's it. And she opened up to them and they actually listened to her. Now, Carl, we had a whole conversation last week about how Krishma's old tribe did not give a crap about her when she cut herself. Nobody
They
cared.
did.
We were joking about how she could have fallen on a hidden immunity idol and it be stuck to her face
They
and
wouldn't care.
nobody
wouldn't care.
noticed.
Let me tell y'all, man. That episode I watched with Karishma at her house.
Aw.
You know what I mean? She lives
That
in
hurt my
Houston.
heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it did to me. She sat there and cried, man. And I was sitting there with her as well as my wife, just trying to console her because that really was real. Like them people didn't give two fucks. I mean,
Savage.
Oh, you can
Sorry,
say
I
that. You're fine.
yeah, like they didn't care about her cutting herself. And she really did. I mean, it was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I really like that she was with people tonight that she could open up to and talk to, and they actually listened to her.
Well,
you
now
know.
when I sit and watch her thing tonight, it was like, oh wow, because again, me and my wife has hung out with her and her husband. So now hearing all of this, we were sitting there looking at each other like oh, like hopefully she talked to him before this, you know what I mean? Before this aired. Like that was like
That was
oh, so
awkward.
wait a minute. I know our marriage was arranged, but like after 5 years, do you just still see us as roommates, or do you are you really in love with me? Like what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like,
when she was talking about it, I thought maybe they were divorced now or
no,
something.
they're
And then
together. Beautiful.
I was like, oh,
yeah,
uh-oh.
yeah, no, yeah. I've hung out with her several times, man, and that was when we seen that. I was like, Oh shit!
Oh, I don't think they're having a viewing party tonight. Ooh.
No, they didn't. And I had checked with her before the episode came on to see where she was watching, and she was like, "No, I'm just gonna watch at home. I'm just gonna chill."
That's when the fight began.
Oh, Lord. Beth in the chat said, Dean's confessional style changed this episode. Now that Chelsea's gone and he's single, he's rocking the grandpa cardigan.
God,
He
looks so good in that cardigan. Whew, I don't know, guys.
He's a changed man.
He is.
Dean is very easy on the eyes. I think that he's like the hottest guy Survivor's ever cast, in my opinion.
The hottest ever?
Yes, I think so.
I disagree.
It's so beautiful.
No.
Who do you think?
Well,
Ozzy?
No.
Oh, he's so beautiful.
Boston
Ozzy.
Rob has been my favorite.
Oh,
for
Allison.
15 years.
Come
Oh, stop
on.
it. You
You're
stop
the
it.
crazy cat lady Facebook casual.
Why does it have to be a cat? Yeah, but why do I have to be why do you have to bring my cats into it? They don't do anything to you.
You're one of those keyboard warriors on Survivor Facebook's page that's like, I love Boston Rob. He's so great.
He's just so cool. He's so awesome. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say I was the hottest old guy. I mean, I'm
yes,
biased.
you were.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Well, I mean, besides
Definitely.
you, Carl, of course.
I'm just, dude.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, Carl, how old are you?
You know what? I'll be 43 Tuesday.
Okay. Well, happy early birthday. Well,
29.
you know, and in Survivor, that's like cat years. You're like 117, you know, but you held your own as well. Because I'm really starting.
Man. I'm still. Let
Yeah.
me tell you, the very first challenge on my season is the only challenge that kicked my ass. Very first challenge, and the reason being is like I smoked cigarettes. You know what I mean? I stopped like maybe 3 days before the actual game started.
Oh, geez.
I couldn't bring any with me out there, but now we're at what they call Tent City pregame, and I seen one of the handlers, which she deals with casting and all of that. I got up one night out of my tent and I walked up, up to the front to use the bathroom, and I seen her sitting there smoking. So I went up to her and I said, Kate, and I said, I know you probably can't do this. I said, but my nerves are fucking shot. I'm nervous. My head is all over the place. I smoke cigarettes. Can I please just bum this last cigarette from you? And she gave it, and I walked off into the way back at Tent City and fucking smoked that cigarette so quick, man, and got back in my tent. And it was like that was the last thing that I needed for me to just say, okay, it's game on. You know what I mean? But yeah, so just the very first challenge is what kicked my butt. Other than that, I'm pretty athletic as far as that goes. Once I catch my breath, then shit, I'm good. It's game on. Yeah.
Well, who would you say so far, if you had to pick a top three, who do you think is going to make it to the end, the final?
To the end, right now, I'm gonna just go out on a limb. First and foremost, I'm gonna say finally a woman is gonna win this season.
I think so too. And Jeff has said that this season has the strongest female cast that they've ever had. So that's a good sign for that. Thank God.
My winner pick is Missy. So
okay.
obviously,
I like it.
Final three. I'm gonna say just from so far what I'm seeing so far, I'm gonna put Kelly in final three. And last but not least, and this may be crazy because he's the youngest on the whole season, I'm gonna say Jack.
Jack, yeah.
So I'm going with Missy, Kelly, and Jack.
I could see that for sure. Because Jack is kind of flying under the radar.
And that's what you have to do.
That, not only that, but the surfer dude also always has a really they always go really far in the game, right?
Right, because he always got a positive vibe.
Yeah.
He's not doing too much. He's not doing too less. He's he
doesn't come off too smart, too strategic.
Right.
Yeah.
No one's talking about him.
Yeah.
Right.
No one's talking about him at all.
He's a good kid. He's a good number. That's what they always say.
Come merge, that's when it's game on, because everything you do now is looked at individually. You know what I'm saying? So you can't go there and win every single challenge because, okay, you're too strong. So the very first one you lose, we got to get you out. You know, so you just got to stay there, man. You just got to stay on that plane, and he'll be all right.
Is it? I know we talk a lot about Big Brother with when the jury starts. When you get to that point, is it like you want to go for the jugular, but you got to kind of retract a little bit because you're like, they're going to remember how I made them feel. That's what Deb always says. They're always going to remember how you made them feel, because as much as you don't want it to be a personal, it still matters somewhat, I would think.
It does. It does. Which Deb can speak more on that, but it does. Every little thing matters, man. People pay attention to every single tidbit thing, literally.
Now, Carl, I have a question for you about David versus Goliath, because we recapped that season together, and on finale night, I said on this show, I would have voted for Angelina in the end, out of Angelina, Mike, and Nick. And
to win?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that she really had some strategic chops and made some stuff happen. Like, yes, she was like a really strong, hard personality, but you can't deny her control and her grip that she had on a lot of people throughout the game. And
I agree.
And so I want to know, like, why do you think she didn't receive any jury votes, and why do you think why did you vote for Nick over Mike or Angelina?
Well, let me just say, if Nick wouldn't have been in the final three, then my vote definitely would have went to Angelina.
Okay.
I've stated that several times. Reason I voted for Nick is because me, Dick, and Davey had a solid alliance. We had a solid agreement to go to final three with each other, and whoever won, we both would be happy for the winner.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So that was a pact that we made, and if people hasn't realized, which Deb's seen it, being in Vegas, me, Nick, and Davey are like brothers. Like from that show to now until in the future, we're like brothers because we made a genuine connection with each other. You know what I'm saying? So Nick was always getting my vote no matter what, being that he was sitting there. If it was Davey, Davey would have got my vote. But now, Angelina was my girl. Angelina was aligned with me when we made Merge. We just had to take our time on the moves we were making. But me and her were like 1-1 as soon as we made Merge. It was just that line still was not yet drawn in the sand. You know what I mean? To part ways from David versus Goliath. It stayed that way for the longest. So once it did, then if you remember, she voted with us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, even the night I got voted out, and Angelina voted with me, you know? So yeah, she was the hardest player out of everyone on my season. She was the hardest player, hands down.
Well,
some of it was good, some of it was bad.
Right?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
She gave up the rice.
No, she bargained for more rice.
Bargained for more rice. I can't remember. Yeah. I swear.
She did, man. That could have been crucial for her game because she could have got voted out that night. I mean, for real. Yeah. Like, she gave up all her immunity.
Yeah, I just I think that she played. I thought she played a better game than to receive no jury votes and for Mike to receive 3 over her. But that's just my hot
Mike
take for
something totally different, man. That's something totally different. Yeah.
How so? Elaborate on that.
Stop. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking to my dog. She's
okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean though that Mike was a totally different?
Tyler, we might need to talk on the telephone, man. That's a whole different ball game.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'll let you off the hook for this one. But I do like your winner picks, and for this season, and I think that Tommy is definitely one to keep an eye on as well. Missy is a really great winner pick. You know, she we checked in with her tonight, even though it was really unnecessary to. Like when she talked to Aaron and she was like, let's remain fluid in this game. We don't have to stick to our old tribal lines. And they agreed, like, we are purple strong now. We are a part of this new group, and we're okay with letting people go. And I think that that's really, really wise of her.
Yeah.
Really like what I see so far. And I also love how diverse this cast is. Like my roommate said that tonight too. And I maybe that's like because of the new casting director. I don't know like what that all boils down to in terms of like the casting process. But I really
the new casting director.
Yeah, this is the first season with a new casting director.
Who's the new head casting director is, right?
I don't know their name. I know Lynn Spellman was the old one, but I don't know who the
person that's head of casting now is the same guy y'all see on TV every day that say, "Come on in, guys."
Jeff?
Oh, Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, I can definitely co-sign that.
My season was the last season that Lynn casted.
Well, let me ask
Jeff
you
has
something.
been the head guy ever since.
Okay.
Before we wrap up, Carl, let me ask, how excited are you for Survivor 40? I have to ask.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. My brother's on it. You know what I'm saying? Nick's on it. You know what I mean? So I can't wait, man. Yeah.
So do you have a winner pick? Is that what you're telling us?
Well, I mean, of course, again, I'm biased.
Yeah.
Nick is my winner pick. I mean, I'm biased, and I don't have no spoilers, no nothing, because I'm a fan of Survivor. So I want to be able to sit down on Wednesday nights and watch without knowing anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But,
well, without Nick, do you have any picks?
Okay, if Nick wasn't on it, then my winner pick would have to be. It would have to be my Survivor idol, man, which would be Jeremy.
That is a very good pick. He played such an amazing game in Cambodia.
Yeah,
so
it would have to be Jeremy.
Yeah, that is not a bad pick.
Right.
We'll see if he can pull out the win again, but I don't know. We'll see. I am so excited for next season.
A lot of big egos.
Yeah.
A lot.
Oh yeah.
You'll have to come back on with us during Survivor 40.
Man, absolutely. I'll join you guys whenever y'all want me to, man.
Because this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Absolutely. I appreciate y'all.
If people want to follow you on social media, how can they find you? If you want to be found, because I know some people.
No, that doesn't bother me, man. My Instagram and my Twitter both are the same. It's Godfather Carl 76.
Okay.
The number 76. Godfather Carl 76. So follow me, man. I'm not like a Davey and all of those younger kids that's just all over social media, but I'll post stuff here and there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So I went to the Astros game last night. I'm a Astros fan. I'm watching it now. So yeah.
Who's winning? Because the Nationals
tied up right now, 2-2. It's tied up right now, 2-2.
I'm a National League fan, Carl.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My Cardinals broke my heart, but it's okay.
They looked horrible. Yeah, I'm big on the Astros, man. I got my special Astros beer. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Just trying to put them on. Actually, I went last night, man. That was awesome, man.
Man, that's cool. That sounds like a lot of fun. I have one of our other co-hosts, Andrew Gibson, is a big Astros fan, and I'm, of course, rooting for the Nationals because I'm a National League fan. And he and I, the shit talking has just been so brutal between us. It's really bad.
Because you're rooting for the Nationals.
I know.
My heart.
But, I can always flip, Carl. I have that potential.
Well, you have to flip. I mean, you can't. You can't be rooting for the Nationals and you got Godfather Carl from Houston on the podcast.
I know. I got to flip. I'm going to flip, Carl. I'm flipping right now.
Yeah,
I'm flipping my vote.
She's really wishy-washy. We need to vote her out.
Yeah, come on, Deb. You know how I roll.
Yeah, we need to vote her out. She's very wishy-washy.
That ain't right.
See, she flipped on a dime.
I did.
Bitch, we voting you out. I'm writing you
already down. Look, I vote myself out. First spider or any alien looking thing I see, I'm out of there. But like, Jeff, here's my torch. The tribe does not have to speak. Allison speaks.
I want out.
Yeah. Give me the thing. Done. But all right, guys. Well, I guess that wraps it up. Carl, again, thank you so much for joining us. You can find Carl. You said at Carl. You said Carl Godfather.
Godfather Carl at 76.
Okay. At Godfather Carl 76 on social media. And you can find, of course, Deborah, you can find her on TV Co at Deborah G and My Next Life Debbie on social media, and Tyler at T Lions. And we will be back next week.
You won't be back next week.
Excuse me. I won't be back, Mr.
I am running the ship next week. So
this is so sad. My father, well, it's not sad. It's my father's birthday next Wednesday, so I'm going to miss the show, and I've got to leave Tyler in charge. I'm sorry.
Like Scorpio like me, the day after mine. Wednesday, right?
Yep, the 30th. Yeah,
next Tuesday, the 29th. Your father's a great guy.
Oh, he's an amazing man. He loves Survivor. He's probably tickled that he and my mom are probably sitting there going, how does she get these people on this show? Why do they want to talk to her? We can't stand her for 5 minutes. I don't know. But anyway, okay, they'll be back. I won't be here next week, but 9 or 10, what is it? 8 Central. I don't even know what time anymore, but that's it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week.
All right. Bye, guys. Take care.
Deuces.